speakers. Welcome to Speak Out Club. Welcome to my podcast series called Confidence Talks, wherein you learn how to speak confidently and rock it on stage directly from real speakers who have done it over and over again and who have actually mastered the art of public speaking in and out. And as I always say that, these people, they are TEDx speakers, they are entrepreneurs, they have done a lot in life. And as it is my promise to you that every episode is going to be super special, it's going to be extraordinary. And I always commit to my promise. And today also we have, I think the special word is very small, for this lady whom I have invited today. She's really inspiring. The kind of work she has done at the age of 16, probably she turned 17 recently, and that is not small, right? That is like bigger than life. So I'm really excited to welcome her. And I was really impressed and I was impacted by her because the moment I saw her on the videos doing a lot of work, I mean, influencing a lot of people, sharing her knowledge with people. She is the youngest life coach in India, in the world. I think so, because at her age of 16, 17, probably I was in grade 12 or I was preparing for medical exams. The words like inspiration and impact were not even in my dictionary. They came, I think, at the age of 30 or 32, right? So, okay, before I go ahead and introduce her, let me introduce myself first. So, I am Priyankini. I'm the founder of Speak Out Club, which is a platform to level up your public speaking skills. I'm also an author of this book called Speak Out. I have an extensive experience of 8+ years in this area of public speaking. So yes, let's get started. And this lady, as I told you, she has proved it to the world that age is just a number. At any age, you can do anything, right? And the kind of achievements she has done, the kind of work she has done, I think if you compare that with just going to stage and speaking, it's just nothing. It's just a matter of just going and doing it, right? It's just piece of cake. So put your hands together for Gargi Arya and welcome Gargi to the show. So yes, Gargi Arya, she is a TEDx speaker. She is the youngest life coach in the world, as I already mentioned. And she has achieved so much in her life. She has got an award from Kiran Bedi, from the TEDx, as well as from her foundation, Navjyoti India, wherein she is a trainer. So yes, welcome Gargi to the show. I'm really glad and I'm blessed. I'm honored that you're a part of this. Yes, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me here. It's a pleasure here too. So same vibes.
Okay, great. So let's get started. So my first question to you, Gargi, is what made you become a life coach? Like I and my speakers, they want to know the purpose behind. You're such a like small girl. Like how that came to your mind, like to become a life coach and serve people around.
Yes, so thank you for asking that question. So my story actually started during COVID pandemic. I lost someone I loved not because of death but because of some clashes in our family. And one can imagine that when somebody is close to your heart, how it feels when you just wake up to a realization that the bond that you shared, it's not going to be there anymore. So that was the feelings which I was going through at that point of time. Initially it all felt like everything is going so well in life during COVID pandemic when it actually started, but things got turned in a very worst way in my life, because I was feeling very drained emotionally, physically, and mentally, because I was just engrossed in my own negative thoughts about losing somebody I love, which is also one of my biggest fears. I knew I had a lot of people to share my feelings with. My parents were there, other friends were there, but at that point of time I lacked the trust in people that I could share my own things very comfortably to them. So one day when I was completely tired of my life, tired of fighting, tired of everything, I just had a moment when I attempted suicide. But the only thing which stopped me at that point of time was, I heard a voice from within me, and that voice was just shouting and screaming at me that, Gargi, you can't end your life just because somebody left you, just because things didn't go the way you wanted to. And that's where my life actually started to the real world, because at that point of time the one thought I had in my mind was, if I am suffering at the age of 13 at that point of time in 2020, there might be so many people in this world who are suffering, and they are not able to share it with the world. They are not able to come up, with their own magic and hidden potential. And that's when I made a decision that, if suppose I'm not able to take this step also, then now I have to face. And I made one decision of my life which changed everything for me, and that was, I am going to take 100% responsibility, no matter whether good happens in my life, no matter whether bad happens. And that's when my story started. I started writing a book, then I got an opportunity to become an international speaker. And just to make a long story short, today, like, my name is Gargi Arya. I'm 17 years young. It's like 3 years into this work, and I'm India's youngest certified life coach, trainer, TEDx speaker, international speaker, healer, NLP, and all of those things. So today I'm not here to impress you, but to impress upon you that if I can do this, you can do it too.
Wow, wow, that was so, so inspiring. So, the gist of this, what I got is, guys, take 100% responsibility, be accountable to yourself, take the ownership, of your own life, take charge of your own life, right? So, wow, that was really, really wonderful. That look
Thank
at
you.
her purpose, like that's what I say to my speakers, if this girl at the age of 16, now you're 17, right?
Yes,
Okay, you completed 16.
yes,
Yes, so at the age of 17 can inspire the whole world. So you can, just go and speak in front of the audience. It's not a big thing, right? So yeah, second question to you, Gargi, is top three challenges which you have overcome to come here. One, I think I guessed it somewhere in your story, that the strength which you got, right? So I want you
mm,
to elaborate on that. And top three challenges, see, the objective behind asking you this question is, I believe, because I relate this podcast around confidence. So I believe that if you face 100 challenges, if you overcome 100 challenges, you become 100 times more confident, right? So yeah, top three challenges.
yes. So, like, the first one was absolutely when I started, the first one was vulnerability. Being able to share my story, confidently with the people who are going to interview me. I still remember, like, when I actually started, whenever somebody would ask me that, why you are doing this, what inspired you to actually start. So I just said, a YouTube video, some things I saw on YouTube, motivational words of some other inspirational people, which gave me that inspiration that I can become a motivational speaker too. And that's when I used to tell people. But when the first time I was called for an interview in an Insta Live, the one question which I knew that the person would ask me is, what inspired you to become the person you are today? So before the interview, 5 minutes before, my mind was, should I speak my real truth, or should I just say what I have been saying till then? But at that point of time, when he asked me that question, I knew that if I want to impact more and more people, I have to gather the guts to, speak the truth which I am having inside me. Because it takes it takes courage to actually speak your own truth. And when in that Insta Live, the first time I, spoke my real truth, I was vulnerable enough to share my story. After the interview, I felt so good, because when I'm stepping out to the world, at least I'm being honest with myself and with the people who are going to watch me. So that's the first challenge which I faced, because it took courage for me to come at a level where I could feel confident about my own story. The second thing was, of course, fear of judgment. When I started, a lot of people till today, when somebody gets to know about me for the first time, the first thought which comes to them is, how can a small girl inspire somebody who has already experienced much of the life than she has? So the second challenge was, of course, fear of judgment, which I faced, because a lot of times, whenever I would post my videos, I would post anything on social media, somebody would come out of nowhere into the picture and telling me about how I stumble in my videos, how I look in my videos, or nobody wants to listen to a young person who is doing this work. And all of these things somewhere, made me feel that I'm not meant for this work. But I think the one thing which I've always done is that, I've always felt that if somebody is imposing their limiting belief upon me, I challenge it. I challenge it, that if the person feels that the young person who is of the age of 13, 14, or 17 can't inspire, then I take it as a fuel that I am going to convert this fear of somebody else into a possibility for me. And that's where, I am able to deal with judgment and criticism. The next is, of course, the third challenge which I faced was loneliness. Because when you are into this journey, you're always a person who is behind laptop, working on phone for hours, talking with people. So that was again my third challenge, because I am someone who professionally, when you will see, you will feel that, I'm an extrovert. But if you will see me in my personal life, I am an introvert, because I love being with myself. I don't go out very much. I have friends, but I'm not in touch with them on a daily basis. So that's the thing, because loneliness has also been one of my struggles. That's I know I have people, but again, the thing is, should I talk or should I not? So all these things come up. And one more challenge I would like to tell here is fear of coming up on camera. That was my biggest fear as well, because when I started, one of the things which people used to tell me was, you are a speaker yourself and you don't have the confidence to come on camera. And that's when I decided, okay, now they have told me something which I need to apply on myself. And that's when I started doing coming up on camera, videos, and all of those things. So yes, these were my four biggest, apart from many other.
Wow, that was really nice. So the learnings, the takeaways, from these three challenges is, she said that the first one is vulnerability, right? So you have to be there, out there, like speak to people. And the best part I liked, which she said, was the authenticity. Now, when you're honest to yourself, when you speak your own truth to people, like I think you don't need to learn any skill of public speaking, right? You're already a speaker there. Because the first thing which a public speaker need to have is authenticity, right? When you're authentic, like, your focus, it never goes to like, okay, how am I looking? Are people judging me? Am I anxious? Am I nervous? So those things are gone. When you are, you become a hero that time when you're speaking, you're authentic, you're very honest to yourself. And see, when you're honest to yourself, automatically you're honest to the audience. Right? So yeah, that was one thing I really liked. And second thing is fear of judgment. Oh my God. This is the biggest one which I keep hearing from my clients, that, my mentor, Gargi Arya, used to say, sabse bada rog kya kahenge log. Right? So, so it's like, okay, Gargi, she brought it in a very good way, that when people tell you that tumse nahi hoga, like I have heard from my clients consistently that they compare themselves with, okay, I'm not from an English medium, I'm from a regional medium, and that's the reason my English is not as good as my friend. He tells me that tumko Angrez banna hai kya? Right? Are you speaking? So, that's a typical Indian mentality and Indian scenario we have, because they are imposing their limitations on you, right? Because they believe that they cannot speak in English or they cannot speak well in front of an audience. They pull you down. So, and if you pull yourself down and if you take it to the heart, so it's your problem, right? It means that you will always, so what happens is when you get conditioned in that way, that becomes a part of your belief system. Now, it's always your choice, right? Whether you want to pull that out, and like Gargi, she took everything, every limiting thing which came out from around people around her, she took it as a challenge and turned into an opportunity. And she took it as a challenge and she actually showed it to people that no, it's no more a limitation, right? So that's an awesome thing again. The third one about loneliness. Oh my God. I personally, I have gone through this because as she said, many people, when I tell that, as a kid, when I tell my story that I was a very shy kid and even now I'm an introvert, they're like, are you an introvert? So let me tell you that there is no relation between having an introvert nature. It's your nature. You cannot change it. And it's absolutely okay to be an introvert. Still inspire the world, right? So on stage, I'm a different person, but in a personal life, like I am an introvert. So that's okay to be an introvert. About loneliness, yes, I have also faced this because as Gargi mentioned that, when you have a completely different objective, so what happens is the people around you, they do not support you. Like my sisters, when I started saying that, okay, I am a public speaking coach and founder of Speak Out Club, they were like, nobody has done this in my family. Like, do you think that this will work for you? Right? So you are lonely, especially when your blood relationship and the people around you, close people around you do not support you. You feel like sometimes giving up. But yeah, it's always a choice. Always the divine, the universe gives you a choice whether you want to go ahead or you want to live a stagnant lifestyle and you want to be complacent with whatever you have. Great. So the next question is the biggest one, which all my speakers are waiting for this question. So, how to deal with the fear of public speaking? So, I would like to hear from, the first experience on stage, or first time when you went on to the stage to speak, and yeah, how do you think we should deal with the fear?
Yes, so thank you for asking that question because like if you will see the statistics, people are not feeling the fear of death, but the first fear that everybody goes through is fear of public speaking. So I think there are few pointers which I keep in mind when I speak in on the stage, and later I'll talk about my first experience and my first offline event. So the first thing was that I have heard it and learned it from my mentors that public speaking is not when you are delivering a speech. It's a conversation between you and your audience. A lot of people, fear, why fear comes is because people feel they have to do the rectification and they have to, do all of it and just go and speak on stage. But, since I have, spoken on many stages, given a lot of interviews, the one thing is speak from your heart. Have all the pointers within, but always try to speak from heart because that's when the flow will come. You will automatically get into the flow once you speak from your heart and not doing any kind of rectification inside you that I have to deliver a speech. Just ask the right questions, get the right answers, and then add your perspective. So that's the first thing which I always keep. Second is when you are doing public speaking, the second thing that you need to keep in mind is the people who are seated at last. They are the ones who are, going to laugh. They are the ones who are going to be most distracted. Now, how can I tell? See, let's say if I'm in an offline event, the first row is not going to laugh. They are not going to feel distracted because I'm very close with them, right? They are going to be fully focused with what we are doing. Second, medium, they are also going to be focused because maybe you are walking and you are just involving everyone. The last seats are the ones who are the most distracted. And whenever you go to a public speaking event, make sure that you ask most questions with the last seated ones. They are the ones who are going to laugh at you. They are the ones who are going to make fun of you. And when you are going to ask them, then they will start feeling this consciousness that, you know what, she's not only paying attention to the first row, but she's actually paying attention to all of us. So the second point is, whenever you are going to any offline space, then make sure that you're also pointing out and asking and involving the last people also, because that's when they will start getting involved to what you are teaching, right? The third thing that you need to keep in your mind when you are doing public speaking is basically, again, the fear only comes when you feel you are doing it as a speech. So make sure you ask more and more questions. You know, I never prepare for any speech or offline session. I just have 5 things in my mind. Rest, all it comes by nature. Why? Because when I start by asking questions, I automatically get, okay, this is the mood of my audience. Because remember, you as a speaker and a coach, you are going to feel nervous in the first few seconds, and they are going to be the most judgmental in the first few seconds. So you need to create a balance. And how will you do that? When you ask questions. So those are the 3 things which I keep in my mind.
Wow, wow, that was a really a good one, because that is a very important tip, that you have to involve the audience, on the last row. So when we talk about fear of public speaking, I like the idea which you said. This I always keep saying to my speakers, that speaking is not about you or what you are presenting, or your PPT, or your speech, or your ratified speech. Okay, it is all about them. It's all about the audience. Now, when you start speaking about, when you start having that purpose, having that intention, that you are helping them, you are serving them, you are here for them, automatically all the anxiety will be gone, because your focus is not like, I say that taking mindset. When you are in a taking mindset, you always feel that, okay, what will the audience think? Am I looking good? Is the audience liking me? So you are there to take validation from the audience, right? But if you are in a giving mindset, I'm here to give. My purpose is to help the audience. If they are here, my purpose is to take them here. Then definitely the fear will be gone. And as Gargi said, that it is again all about the audience and how you engage with the audience. How you engage, especially the backbenchers. That is how you instantly connect with them. And it's all about the audience. Speaking is nothing about like what you prepare, or it's definitely good to prepare more and more, but when you are on the stage, the preparation ends there, and you are just there for them. That's it, right? So
Yes.
yeah, the last one is, yeah, what is the last thing, the last message you want to give to my speakers who feel that, okay, I'm nervous, I'm an introvert, I cannot speak, I'm hesitant. Yeah, so last
Yes. So the last message that I would love to give to everybody is, like, don't let yourself go into any regret. That, let's say, suppose this is your last day, and what if जब आपके last के कुछ आखिरी दिन चल रहे हैं, and you are lying on the hospital bed, and you are just thinking, you are reflecting back how you lived your life. The one thing that you don't need, that I would love for you, that जब आपको, when you are imagining yourself in such a situation, don't have this situation where you are feeling regretful कि काश मैंने ये कर लिया होता, right? I hope, I wish I could have done this, and I wish I could have not listened to what other people thought about my dreams. So the only message I would love to give all of you is, dreams are also like your kids. They are also like small children. If you will nurture them, they will keep growing. If you will not pay attention, they will leave you. They will die, or they will bury themselves. So the only message that I would give you is, if you want something, remember you can only see it if you can do it. So अगर आप उसको देख सकते हो, I've heard so many people around me, they say that, I am a middle class I come from middle class family. I wish I could have earned so much. I wish I could have impacted people's lives like you. You can do it too. The only thing is, you need to have a more bigger cause, have a more bigger why. Why do you want to do it? Don't focus on how, because it will keep unfolding. So just get to your why, see what it is that you want, and you will get there.
Wow, that was such a valuable message. The last message was really, really very inspiring again. So don't let your dreams die. If you want to really become, if you want to become a public speaker, you actually don't have to become, you just have to become you. That's it. It's as simple as that, right? So don't let your dreams die and go and do it now. Whatever is your dream, like you have to just nurture it. And that was such a good message. And that's all about today's podcast. And thank you so much. I'm so grateful to you, Gargi. And your presence has made my podcast really valuable. And I know that my speakers are going to be impacted really, like they are going to be inspired a lot. And thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much, everyone, and thank you so much for inviting me here.